Hi everybody, today I'm going to be reviewing this custom fit tight lacing underbust corset made by Xandriana. So here is the front, side, the back, and the other side. Like I said, this corset is made to measure, but it actually wasn't made for me. I got this corset secondhand. But if anybody's interested in the measurements here, the center front is 12 inches. From the princess seam, the underbust down to the lap here is 9 inches, so it's a tiny bit short on me. The back there is very, very high. It's 15 inches high in the back. And for the circumferential measurements is about 30 inches in the underbust, 24 inches in the waist, and in the low hip here is about 36, so it's gaping on me a little bit, but as long as I wear something bulky underneath like jeans, then you don't notice it gaping that much. I would consider this corset to be a modern hourglass. It is very, very, very slightly rounded in the rib cage here. It nips in at the waist quite comfortably, and it's rounded again over the hips here. It is a long line underbust, so my iliac crest is right there, and the lower edge of the corset is about 2.5 inches extended below that point. So here's a corset laying flat. For the materials of this, the fashion fabric is this lovely, thick, heavyweight satin, and it might actually be satin couture or cotton back satin. And originally I thought this was white, but it's actually like the palest pink, and it's really beautiful. On the inside here, you can see that it's lined in herringbone couture. And also here's what the Xandriana tag looks like, but it's been flossed over. For the pattern of this corset, it's a 6-panel pattern, so 12 panels total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that very long one back there. And for the assembly of this, it was definitely assembled with a top stitch. I can see that it's stitched multiple times, 2 or 3 times per seam there. And this corset is double boned, so it has 1 bone on the seam and 1 bone in the middle of the panel. And I like that better than just having, you know, double boned, 2 bones on each seam, because it seems to distribute the tension a little bit better and make for a more comfortable experience with less pressure points in my experience. Turning to the inside, you can definitely see the outline of the waist tape here. So it's about 1 inch wide, invisibly stitched between the layers and running through all the panels of this corset. Here's a close-up of the binding and also the flossing here. Unfortunately, I don't know if the flossing was done by the corsetiere or if it was done by the first owner of this corset. But in any case, the binding is done very neatly here. It's machine stitched on the outside and also hand finished on the inside, so you don't see any messy seams or anything. Now there are a couple of places where the binding is joined there, and that is not a huge point to me unless it shows up in the very front there, but it doesn't affect the function of the corset, so it still works fine. There is a very long Modesty panel in the back of this corset, finished in the same satin and couture on the inside. You can see it has 2 bones here in an X fashion, and it is suspended on the laces here with this pink ribbon. As well, there is an unstiffened Modesty placket finished in the same satin here on the knob side of the busk. That's about 1 inch wide. The busk in this corset is 11 inches long, and it is a standard flexible busk, so 1/2 inch on each side. Has 5 pins. The last 2 are a little bit closer together to help control the tummy, and it is further reinforced by another flat steel bone on either side. This corset has 28 bones total, not including the busk, so 14 on each side. As I had mentioned before, there is a flat steel bone beside the busk to further reinforce it. There are also 2 flat steel bones in the back sandwiching the grommets here. The other ones are 1/4 inch wide spiral steel bone, and as I mentioned before, there's 1 on the seam and 1 in the middle of the panel to help with distribution of tension. Here's a close-up of the eyelets. There are 28 of them, 14 on each side. I recognize these as being the Prim brand 5mm wide 2-part eyelets, so they do have the eyelet part and the washer behind them. They are set a little bit closer together at the waist for ease of cinching there, and these are very, very common for use in corsets that are made by British or English corsetiers. And moving the Modesty panel aside, you can see the back, and you can see a nice washer. All of them seem to have rolled really beautifully. None of them are crushed. A couple of splits here and there, but none of them catch on the laces, so it's fine. I have no complaints about them. The laces are 1/2 inch wide, double-faced satin ribbon in this pale pink. I think it's really pretty. It has no stretch to it. It's a little bit slippery, but it holds its bows really well, and it has a nice low profile when I wear this underneath clothing. So yeah, they work fine. Xandriana's prices start at about $300 US for a custom fit underbust corset finished in satin like this that is suitable for tight lacing but not waist training. If you would like a corset that's more suitable for waist training, that starts at about $400. So this concludes my review of the long line, high back, custom fit, tight lacing but not waist training underbust corset made by Xandriana. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something new. If you did, please remember to click that like button and help support the channel. If you have any comments or questions about this corset, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'd be happy to get back to you or forward your questions to the corsetiere. And I will see you all next week for another video. Bye!